Hello and welcome to Vietnam Journal, our daily English news bulletin on NETVIET VTC10. I'm Ngọc Ánh speaking from Hanoi. Every day we'll bring you comprehensive and up-to-date information about Vietnam. And following are major stories on Monday. Vietnam posts $3.6 billion agroforestry and fisheries exports in the first 2 months of this year. Ambassador talks about Australian Culture Education Week 2012. And Vietnamese foreign writers hold literature reciting event. Vietnam earned $3.6 billion from agroforestry and seafood exports in the first 2 months of this year. The revenue approximates the figure in the same period of last year. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development noted a remarkable decrease of 13.2% in the export value of agricultural products worth $2 billion as a result of dropping prices in the world market. With the exception of pepper, cashew nuts and tea, most key agricultural products earned less than in the same period last year. On the contrary, forestry products and wooden furniture brought home $626 million, a rise of 18.7%. Meanwhile, seafood export value was $763 million, up 12.7% against the same period last year. And following is some other economic news in brief.
Vietnamese officials recently estimated that $1 billion of foreign direct investment or FDI was disbursed so far this year, down 9% on year. The country licensed 65 new FDI projects from the beginning of the year to February the 20th. Their registered capital total $911 million, down 55% on year.
Japan-based Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation and US-based Citibank will provide Vietnam with $270 million of soft lending to finance an expressway project linking Hanoi and Haiphong City. The expressway is claimed to be the first in Vietnam to meet international technical standards. It measures 105.5 kilometers in length and 33 meters in width on average, allowing a maximum speed of 120 kilometers per hour. The low-cost airline AirAsia recently announced its partnership with ACE Insurance Company, or ACE Vietnam, to give an insurance cover for customers embarking from Vietnam. The insurance could reach a maximum protection of $100,000. AirAsia reported the AirAsia Insure travel plans by ACE Vietnam provide value-added benefits to passengers such as 24-hour worldwide emergency assistance, overseas medical expenses and flight delays, among others.
The Australian Education Culture Week 2012, to celebrate the 39th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Vietnam and Australia, came to an end on Sunday. On this occasion, our NETVIET VTC10 reporter had a conversation to His Excellency Mr. Alastair Cox, Australian Ambassador to Vietnam, about the culture and education relations between the two countries.
Your Excellencies, thanks very much for joining our talk today. Your Excellency, could you provide some information about the events on Australian Cultural and Education Week in Vietnam in 2012?
So this week we have a number of events which are intended to promote Australia, particularly with young Vietnamese people, particularly with music and film, and English language training, English language promotion. We've got an Australian band which is bringing modern world music and Australian Aboriginal music together, called Visions of a Nomad. And we have a well-known new Australian film, Brand New Day, which is an Australian film about Aboriginal life and a musical film.
What is the message that Australia wants to send to Vietnamese people during the Australian Cultural and Education Week in Vietnam this year?
So I think the image we're trying to convey all the time about Australia today, a modern image of Australia, is an image of an Australia that is engaged with the world. We have many Australian Vietnamese people, more than 300,000 in all Australian Viet Q people, and so we have a lot of people from throughout the world, including Vietnam. And I think what we're trying to say to people is that in Australia you have a world-class experience. You have education that is benchmarked with the world's best education system if you're coming for education. For tourism, you have tremendous tourist facilities. So our experience is an experience of the whole world in Australia.
Your Excellencies, could you evaluate the cultural and education relationship between Vietnam and Australia?
Well, I think the relationship is very strong because of the large number of Vietnamese Australians who live in Australia, and many of them, I think, come back to Vietnam and promote Australia in Vietnam, and that's one of the reasons we have so many Vietnamese students living and working or studying in Australia, more than 20,000. And the education relationship is a very powerful part of the relationship between the two countries. And Vietnam is a very popular place for Australian tourists. And so I think we're going to see a growth in the tourism links. And the Vietnamese community is a very thriving part of our Australian community, particularly in Sydney and Melbourne. And so I think our links are good, but there's so much more potential.
Your Excellencies, could you reveal some information on the events to be held in 2013 on the 40th anniversary of Vietnam and Australia diplomatic ties?
Well, the 40th anniversary of our diplomatic relations, as you say, will be in 2013. Yeah. And we are beginning to plan now a program of events. And we hope that we can do a major opening event in Hanoi around the time of February 2013 to celebrate the opening. Oh. And then another series of events in Hanoi, in Ho Chi Minh City, and in Da Nang and Hue event. And we do hope that Vietnam too can run some events in Australia to highlight the Vietnamese culture. So we're hoping for a range of events like that.
Thank you very much, and hope to see you in the future.
Vietnam Journal. It's not just news, it's life in Vietnam.
Welcome back to our news bulletin. Vietnamese and foreign writers organized a literature reciting event for the second time in Hanoi on Sunday. The monthly event, namely Speak Hanoi, was themed Appetite this time.
After the first event in November 2011, this time, 7 writers of different backgrounds gathered at Kama ATK bar in Hanoi to read out loud the compositions and translations for the audience. The motivation behind the event is to bring together Hanoi's diverse community of poets, short fiction writers and bloggers, among others. This is a chance for writers in Hanoi to express their love for the art of writing, regardless of their nationalities. With the goal of intercultural exchange, Nói Hanoi is open to writers of any language, aspiring or professional. Each spoken word event also includes a brief open mic session. In the coming months, along with poetry reading, Nói Hanoi will offer talks about various topics like hip-hop, architecture, and poetry.
Listening to the crunch of each cut of chord, imagining.
The Vietnamese Students Association in South Korea, or VSAC, held an annual gathering for its alumni in Hanoi on February the 25th. The event attracted 170 Vietnamese alumni who studied in South Korea. 30 students studying Korean language in Hanoi National University also joined the meeting. The alumni shared their experience after returning home from South Korea. They also gave recommendations to help the VSAC operate more effectively and boost the friendship between the two countries. At the meeting, President of South Korea's Han-Shin Construction Company, Choi Young-sun, said that he was very glad to organize the gathering. He said the company committed to providing continued support to the association's activities in the future. Han-Shin has assisted the organization of annual meetings for Vietnamese alumni and provided funding for the VSAC to maintain its website. There is a wide variety of traditional craft villages in Vietnam. Today we'll explore the village which makes soybean paste in the northern province of Hưng Yên in the following report.
Bun village has been making soybean paste for about 500 to 700 years. At that time, the northern province of Hưng Yên has two specialties including longan and soybean paste.
Làm để phát huy cái nghề nghiệp các cụ, giữ cái truyền thống của quê hương. Thế rồi là qua đây thì cũng là để xây dựng nên được cái thương hiệu của tương làng Bần.
This job requires caution and meticulousness in each stage. That's why local women plays a key role in the business. Men often help them in printing and threading. The paste is often made from March to August because it's usually sunny at this time. The ingredients include soybean, rice, salt, and water. All of them are available in any village in Vietnam. Gelatinous rice is washed thoroughly, soaked into water, and then steamed. Villagers spread the rice on a large basket, which is made from bamboo, until the produce is covered with yellow mold. Each day they store the rice with chopsticks. After that, they prepare to soak soybeans. Bad soybeans are removed. The rest are roasted with a small flame until they become crispy. They are put into a jar for about a week with clean water. The soaking time is very important. Soaking too short or too long will affect the quality of soybean paste. Moldy rice is sunk into the soybean soaking water. Then they put soybeans and salt to the mixture and stir it. The workers usually store the mixture in the morning and lunch. The mixture needs to be to the sun for at least 2 months or even 2 to 3 years. The longer it is exposed, the tastier it is. After that, the workers pour the paste to some jars or bottles. The way people in Bun village make soybean paste is not different from other villages. However, Bun soybean paste is more famous because its stage is performed thoroughly.
Nói chung trong sản xuất tương thì công đoạn nào cũng quan trọng, từ vệ sinh, rửa chum đến rang đỗ, thổi sôi, khâu nào cũng quan trọng. Chỉ cần một công đoạn mà có sơ suất có thể dẫn đến ảnh hưởng hỏng mất một loài tương.
Soybean paste is easy to eat. It is used with plain rice flan, water spinach, and other Vietnamese rustic dishes, or it can be used as a spice for soup and fish. The taste of Bun soybean paste is unique. The households here now have registered their product quality, designs, packages, logos, along with addresses and contacts printed on the labels. Every year, tens of thousands of liters of local soybean paste is exported to foreign countries like Europe and America.
While the story about the traditional Vietnamese soybean paste making village has wrapped up our news bulletin today. For comments and feedbacks, please send us an email to netvietdaily@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. We wish you a happy new week and see you again tomorrow.